Welcome to RnG Save the World. I'm Griffin. That's
And
Ryan.
I'm Ryan.
Yep, he's
I'm
Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah,
No, I'm Ryan.
yeah, that's what I said. That's Ryan. And a couple days ago, we got our first voice message. Ryan, tell him about it.
We got this voice message about 0600 hours, and I don't actually know what time it was.
Yeah, close enough. It was 600. Yeah.
But we did get a voice message from a viewer, and it's pretty interesting. I didn't realize that the voice messages would just like appear there and like be already ready to be like a clip.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was how it's supposed to be. But I don't think we're including the clip in the episode, are we?
No, you can't. We shouldn't include stuff without explicit permission.
Right. So, okay, if you send us a voice message, I guess, and you tell us put this in the podcast, then we will put it in the podcast, I guess.
Yeah, you'd be like, you can use this audio. And we'll be like, all right, we will. But, the listener who sent the voice message listens to us every day going to yodeling class. That's pretty interesting.
It is pretty interesting. I never met anyone that goes to a yodeling class before.
Yeah, me neither.
So, what do you do in yodeling class?
You learn to yodel, probably. That's what I would assume.
Like singing class, or like music class, but like for yodeling?
I would think so, yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have him on the podcast and talk about yodeling class.
Oh, yeah. That'd be pretty cool. Yodeling class. That'd be Ryan, would you go to yodeling class with me?
The yodeling class?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I can't yodel.
That's why you would go to a class for it. To learn how.
I don't. Okay, I'd go to a class for it. If after the class, say we went there for like a month or whatever, afterwards you went into Walmart and you started yodeling like that one kid.
Okay.
Did you do that? Just like stand in the middle of Walmart and just like yo 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 yo.
Sure.
Whatever.
I bet you regret making that thing. Thinking I wouldn't. You thought I wouldn't do it. I would.
Well, now you got to do it now.
Oh, yeah. You got to go to yodeling class, too.
Where are we going to find a yodeling class?
Nebraska. Probably.
I'm going to look it up. Maybe there's like online Zoom yodeling classes.
Zoom yodeling classes.
Yeah, then we could do it together.
That wouldn't need that would be pretty interesting, actually. Yeah. Try to learn
how
from
to
somebody.
spell.
The mic would just drop off. You wouldn't be able to hear.
Yeah. Let me see.
I will let you see.
Yodelcourse.org.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Complete the first 5 lesson performances. Post your YouTube videos of all 5 lessons to earn your student certification of yodeling.
Yo. We can do that.
This is Learn to Yodel since 1996. No apologies.
No apologies for what?
I don't know. It just says Learn to Yodel online with Yodelologist Norm since 1969. No apologies.
What did Norm do?
I don't know. Yodeling is one of the most amazing sounds a human voice can produce.
Yeah.
The site teaches the style of the alpine yodeling. Since only a few people live in the Alps, this course is for yodelers wherever they are. No mountains required.
No Walmart's
It's like
required.
they put in a requirement: you must be in the mountains to complete this course.
I
You
can
need
do
to
it.
film.
You could
You need
not.
to film with mountains in the background.
What if we just photoshopped mountains into your video? That'd work.
I mean, I could go down to El Paso and like pretend those giant hills down there are mountains.
I don't think that'd work.
Or
Think
make
it needs
myself look really
a peak.
small next to it. It's like camera angles.
I'll be making you look pretty small soon, Ryan, because I'm going to climbing class. I want to talk about that on the podcast.
Okay.
Ask questions, Ryan.
Ask questions about climbing class.
Ask all the questions, every single one.
Okay. What level of wall did you climb?
Do you know the V system?
Kind of.
I did I can do the easiest V0 that they have in bouldering.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I attempted a V5 once.
Did you win?
No, I got halfway up.
Wow. Wow. Guess I'm better then. Because I
guess so.
succeeded.
Yeah, I guess. So is it like just a big wall where they have all those textured plastic grips?
Yeah.
Do they have any like vertical upside down bouldering ones
Upside down bouldering ones?
where you like boulder up and then you're like upside down bouldering?
You have to like turn around and go up the wall backwards, feet first.
No. I've seen some bouldering gyms where they have like an overhang, like kind of like an arch shape.
A
but there's,
horizontal.
like, yeah.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of that.
Is that what you're gonna get into?
Yeah. I want to be the best there ever was.
You're gonna be the best around.
Yeah.
No one's ever gonna keep you down.
No, to catch them was my real test, and to save them was my cause.
Oh, okay.
Or to train them. Yeah.
So, more about this bouldering gym.
Yeah. There's more than bouldering, but that was all I did.
Bouldering is typically shorter, isn't it?
It's shorter, but more complex, because you have specific routes you need to take, so it's like puzzles.
Okay, yeah. So do they have like colored grips to show you which path is which?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then there are some of the grips that don't have anything to hold on to, so you just need to hold on to it. You understand? You understand, Ryan?
Kind of.
It's like if you were holding on to a watermelon with one hand.
Okay, so there's like slick grips.
They're like slick-ish. You use chalk for that, but they're more round. That's you just gotta hold on to round things for some of them.
Yeah, that sounds difficult.
It looks difficult. I can't do it.
I could do it.
You could not.
I totally could.
I bet my grip's better than yours.
No. Can you do pull-ups from your door frame?
I can't do pull-ups.
Oh. Well, I have done a couple at a time before. Pull-ups just from the door frame with my fingertips.
I did. I was the door frame though, so
No. Stop stealing my thunder.
I won't. I'll never stop stealing anybody's thunder. That's my whole thing.
No, I have to flex. I just have to.
You can flex, but I'll take like 50% of the muscles.
Oh man, I've always wanted to go to a bouldering gym.
Well, if you come up here, I can use a buddy pass that I get you in for free with free rentals.
Epic.
I know.
Do you have your own climbing shoes, or do you rent climbing shoes there?
I got a free rental last time because it was my first time there, and I set up a membership. But I'm gonna need to buy my own.
Yeah, that's they're not that expensive. I mean,
No, not too bad.
I mean, I say that, but all my shoes are like $200 or more because they're so
Yeah,
big.
because you're a Texan and you work in Texan conditions.
Yeah. That has nothing to do with it, though. That has
It
nothing
totally
to do with my
does.
feet size.
Totally, that's how. Ryan, what shoes do you buy? Let's see.
What shoes do I typically buy?
Yeah, what shoes you talk about? 200 plus. Let's see.
Well, I needed tennis shoes, and all I fit in was Jordan, so that was 140.
I bet you could have found something that wasn't Jordan's, Ryan. I bet.
Okay, yeah, I do have a pair of Vans that fits about $70.
There we go.
But then my boots, my work boots, the ones I wear every day, are, I think they were 200 before tax, so
Oh, work boot.
about 240.
They go work boots.
Yeah, they're cowboy boots with work tread.
That's not
And
good
composite
work boots.
toes.
Pop the toes.
No, they have composite toe plates. You know,
just-
like steel toe.
You just pop the toes out. It makes it sandals.
No. There's steel toe boots, which are steel plates in
Yeah.
the toe, and then there's composite, which is like a carbon fiber or fiber mix, hardened toe guard.
That is interesting.
Yeah, they're a lot lighter weight and they're not flexible at all, but it's a little more comfortable because they're light and they don't dig into your metatarsal.
Metatarsal?
Yeah.
Ryan, are you a foot guy?
No. No.
What is a metatarsal?
It's the flat part of your foot, I think.
Bruh.
I'll look it up. I
You're
think
a
it's
foot guy.
No.
You are.
There's no footwear for my dad because he's a safety engineer.
Yeah. Foot guy.
Okay. The metatarsal bones are the ones that hold your toes, your toe bones. You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
So you have your toe bone, and then the bone that connects to that is your metatarsal.
I actually
Yes.
have multiple toe bones. So.
Oh, well, most people only have one, so I don't know.
Yeah, they only have
You
one.
got some sort of problem.
They got one big toe. That'd be pretty epic.
That'd be pretty weird. But yeah, if you're using, I don't know if your rewards. Oh wait, hold on.
Hold on.
So it looks like there's a second bone.
Oh, no way.
So you got your toe bones, and then you got your second row, which is called proximal phalanges.
You.
And then you have your metatarsal bones, and then you have your tarsal bones.
Where is the metatarsal bone? Tell me, Ryan. Tell me.
It's in your foot.
Where in your foot, though?
The third bone from your toes.
I have many bones from my toes.
Yeah,
Where-
so I guess if you
Where in the foot is it, Ryan? Where in the foot?
like the flat part of your foot.
That takes up a pretty big area, yes.
Well, it's like that flat area just before it starts to curve up towards your leg.
Ryan, you're not very good at this.
Just look it up, dude.
I don't want to look it up. I want to be explained.
I don't know how to explain it other than like you have your toes and then you have the bones that connect to like the knuckle or whatever in your foot.
Okay.
And then from there back is your metatarsal bones, and then it connects to like the growth plate and like stuff like that.
So the metatarsal bone is a plate?
Oh my gosh, no. It connects to the plate bones. Because you've seen a picture, an x-ray of a foot before, right?
I've never seen a plate in my foot.
No, there's like these solider plate-ish bones. They're not plates.
So there's no flat like a plate bones in my foot, Ryan. I would know.
I mean, they're not perfectly flat, but they are flat-ish. If you look at them from the top, they look flat.
Right.
The rest of the bones don't look flat.
I would be able to feel if I had like plate armor in my foot.
I guess I'm just built different then. I have plate armor.
I'm looking it up. I'm gonna see how bad you described it.
I did a great job.
Tarsal.
And I don't know how you ever got through school. The teacher would probably be like, this connects to this, and you'd be like,
Ryan,
what?
those are just toe bones.
No.
It's like if your toes were fingers, that would be the last segment before the knuckle. That's what it is. Those are toe bones.
Okay, but your toes are the little ones, because not all of that flexes like your fingers.
The toes are 1 and 2, and then that one is like the rest of the finger that's inside your hand.
Yeah, but you don't call that a finger.
I do, actually.
From your finger knuckle back towards your wrist, you don't call that your finger still.
I do, because it's not connected to anything else. It's gonna be a finger. It's just surrounded by flesh.
Okay, but if someone says I cut off my finger, like in an accident, they don't mean they cut a whole part of their hand out.
I would expect that. Yeah.
A number. But if you lost a toe, you would lose that part, and you say I lost my toe, not my.
I would expect if they lost a toe that they would lose at least a portion of that bone too.
Oh, the metatarsal bone?
Yeah, the metatarsal.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Because the metatarsal is like all the way back in here.
Bro. They would lose a bit of that. How do you expect somebody to lose a toe, Ryan?
I don't know. Just standing on a table saw or something.
Why would you stand
You'd be
on a
surprised,
table
dude.
saw?
You'd be surprised at crazy stuff I've seen in construction.
The crazy stuff you've done, like set yourself on fire.
No, that's just welding. That's just everyday welding.
Wow. I want to bring something up in topic. Ryan, before starting this episode, I checked the analytics, and we got, like, 1 listen from iHeartRadio.
Whoa. Who was it?
I don't know.
Did they leave their name and number?
No. They left your name and number.
Was it you?
No. But I thought about doing that.
Let me check. Does it tell you in the analytics?
No. It says it's like viewership. It's mostly Spotify. It's somewhat Anchor. It's like 1 web browser and then 1 iHeartRadio. But it's like a percentage. So 3% iHeartRadio.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Listener from iHeartRadio. I don't know who you are, or if you're just somebody who's already listened to it on a different platform or whatever. But you're pretty epic.
Yep.
More
people should listen on iHeartRadio and on Amazon
and Apple Podcast and Stitcher and whatever other things. I don't know. Look on if you want to listen to it on anything, look on anything. And if it's not there, email us.
Yeah, we can put it on there, most likely.
Or not. That could be it too. You never know, listener. Listening to this podcast.
Okay. So it's almost October.
Is it?
Are you ready for October shenanigans?
I'm gonna die of fright. What are October shenanigans?
I don't know. Like, there's Halloween, and then there's
True.
like pumpkins.
I like carving pumpkins.
You know what else there is?
What?
Pumpkin spice lattes.
Not very good.
No, actually disgusting.
They're only not very good because they're overhyped to me.
They're not very good because pumpkin plus spice is just not good.
That's a lie.
That's just, no. Pumpkin plus spice is disgusting.
What about
Actually, no question
pumpkin
about
pie?
that. Pumpkin pie is fine.
That's pumpkin plus spice.
No,
It is.
you've been making the wrong type of pumpkin pies, man.
That is literally pumpkin plus spice. That is in the recipe. Pumpkin spice.
Nope,
Yeah.
can't be. What kind of spice then?
Pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice. That's like
I could
That's
look
not
up
a
the
spice.
combination of spices that go into making pumpkin spice, but I don't want to.
there's no such thing as pumpkin.
There's
spice.
almost definitely cinnamon in pumpkin spice.
But pumpkin spice, non-pumpkin,
Non-pumpkin?
not the pumpkin part of the pumpkin spice. But that stuff is gross.
Pumpkin spice is meant to go on pumpkins.
No, it's nasty. Like if you're gonna eat pumpkins, either just eat pumpkins or eat pumpkin pie,
You
which
eat.
is not pumpkin spice.
Yes, you put pumpkin spice in pumpkin pie.
I don't not think so. I'm gonna look this up. I don't know how to spell pumpkin. Oh, okay, hold on. Pumpkin pie recipes. And here's a Minecraft recipe for pumpkin pie. It does not
Whoa.
have pumpkin spice in it.
Yeah, sure, because they don't have those stuff.
That's not why, man. Okay, here's the recipe. It takes 50 minutes to cook. Wow.
Pumpkin
10 minutes
spice,
to prep.
also known as pumpkin pie spice, this is a mixture of cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, allspice, and cloves.
Allspice.
Yeah.
Allspice? Are you
Allspice.
kidding me? Why would you put allspice in there?
I don't know.
That is
I don't
just
even know what
nasty.
allspice is.
It's just this nasty stuff we put on pasta sometimes.
Why would you put that on pasta?
I don't know. Don't ask me. Okay, here's the ingredients. Pumpkin puree, sweetened condensed milk, eggs, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and salt.
That's pumpkin spice.
No, there's no allspice in there.
That doesn't mean it's not pumpkin spice. It has cinnamon, nutmeg, and what? Cloves? Yeah, pumpkin spice.
No cloves. No cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. That's
You
it.
just said cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and cloves.
I didn't. I said and salt.
You said cloves.
I did not.
Reroll the recording back. You said cloves. Hit
No.
hit the back 15 seconds like twice.
Nope, I was right. Sweetened condensed milk, eggs, cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg.
That makes
That's
it.
it.
You know what that makes it?
No, it does not make it
Pumpkin
pumpkin
spice.
No.
Yes.
No.
That is pumpkin spice.
I
That
look up a pumpkin
is
spice recipe. now. You're gonna
exactly-
see.
That is 3/5 of the recipe of one recipe to make pumpkin spice. That makes it pumpkin spice.
I don't think so.
It does.
Homemade pumpkin spice recipe. We're about to find
Yeah,
out.
homemade pumpkin spice recipe because everyone makes pumpkin spice the exact same.
I
And
don't
nobody
think
just
so.
buys it from the store.
Let me see. Okay, here we go. Here are the ingredients. Cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and ginger.
And allspice.
And sometimes allspice.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing about it that I hate probably is the cloves and the allspice.
No, you like it because you have it in pumpkin pie all the time.
No, because it doesn't include the ginger. It doesn't include the cloves and the allspice in the pumpkin pie recipe.
Are you certain that whoever you're getting your pumpkin pie doesn't use cloves and whatever else it was?
I am 90% certain.
Where do you get your pies from, Ryan?
From my mother.
Go and ask her right now.
I will. I will text her and ask her for the ingredients list of pumpkin pie.
Of pumpkin spice.
No one makes pumpkin spice.
If you put it into the
That's
pumpkin
gross.
pie, you're making pumpkin spice.
No.
You are.
Pumpkin spice and pumpkin pie are two different things.
Pumpkin pie spice is another name for it, so you put it in pumpkin pie.
No.
Yeah.
No. We've been over this, man.
No, we haven't over this, and I've been right.
No.
You make the
Is
most ridiculous arguments. I am like the sane person of the podcast, and I didn't expect that to happen. You're like, food is too wet. Pumpkin spice doesn't go into pumpkin pie.
But
What?
then I looked it up, and yes, food is too wet, and pumpkin spice and pumpkin pie are different.
You can't look up is food too wet and expect to get a good source.
I totally can. I'll do it right now.
Cite your sources.
Is food too wet?
I bet you spelled that. I bet you spelled that with a T and an O and no extra O.
No.
You did, didn't you?
There's two O's. There's two O's.
No, there isn't.
Let's see. Most people would not choose to eat spoiled, smelly food.
No way. Really?
First, wet your hands with warm water. The best way to clean your food.
What are you talking about?
I looked up, is food too wet? And this is what I found, okay?
Did you put two O's or one
Yes,
O?
two O's.
You didn't.
I did too.
You did not.
Pardon the pun, but I did too.
I want to look up the same thing with two O's.
Why is wet food disgusting? In core questions.
Nothing like that is coming up, Ryan.
What browser are you using?
I'm using Google, Ryan.
Okay, the first thing that comes up, you should see this. It says, "What to do when food is too watery" by
Correct.
Deacon Harold. And then after that, if you keep scrolling down, it says cooking with wet heat. And then spoiled safety myths or food safety myths.
Correct.
And then, is it normal that food comes out of the bag wet?
Who's getting food out of bags?
I don't know, honestly. Like, what kind of a question is that?
Are people wondering why when they grab their fast food out of a bag it's wet? It's because it's hot.
That's just really dumb. It's
Because
such a
of
broad
burger.
question, too. Like, what kind of food? Like, you pulling chicken breast out of the freezer? Were they
You looked
frozen?
at Quora for the thing you were citing, Ryan.
I didn't click on the
Do you
article. I
think
was just saying.
you think Quora is a refutable source? That's worse than
Okay.
Wikipedia.
It is so not.
It is.
It's just about the same.
No, it's worse.
It's about as reputable as... Both of them are less reputable than Reddit, probably.
Reddit.
Which is still probably pretty unreputable.
Why is my meat so wet? r/cooking for beginners. Do people want drier meat? That's really
know.
easy to make. You just cook it for longer, and then
You
it's
cook it for a long time, and it just dries out. And just
it dries, and you have to take a swig of water after every bite.
yeah. Or with a swig of water to get it down.
Yeah, true.
Turkey turns out like that sometimes.
It's really easy to make turkey like that. It's
Yeah,
harder
it
to
dries
make it.
out.
Yeah.
Man, I've had
Pros and cons of wet food for dogs. That's like for you, Ryan.
no. Should I feed my puppy wet food or dry food?
Pros of feeding wet food to dogs. Let's see why you should eat wet food, Ryan. Wet foods tend to be lower in carbohydrates and higher in protein and fat than dry food. High carbohydrate intake may contribute to obesity in dogs, Ryan. So some wet food can prevent weight gain and even promote weight loss. You don't really need that, to be fair. So you should probably eat the dry food to gain the weight, Ryan.
Gain weight. I
Yeah.
can't gain weight. I've tried.
Have you tried eating?
I actually haven't tried.
Yeah, exactly. Wet food has a higher water content and can help dogs maintain hydration. This is good for dogs that don't drink much water, especially during periods of hot weather. You had hot weather down there for a bit, Ryan. Did you eat wet food?
No.
Exactly. What are the cons? Right. Are you on the website? You read the cons.
I'm not on the website. Why would I
What the
be on
heck?
the website? Hold on. Give me a second. Oh my
Alright,
gosh.
I'll get you a second.
What is it? Wet food? Which one's better for your pet?
Probably.
Or is it dry versus wet food? Sunday for dogs.
I don't know.
Let's see. Let me look. Kibbles and bits. Pros of wet food. We already read those, didn't we?
Yep. Go to cons.
Cons of wet food. Wet foods increase palatability. It's a double-edged sword. If you have an overweight animal, giving them less appetizing kibble could help them eat fewer calories and lose weight.
Where are you reading from?
From the same website.
Where did you even start?
Started at the beginning. It says
Why did
cons
you
of-
start at the beginning?
It says cons of wet food.
Cons of feeding wet food to dogs. Dry foods have been generally favored by dog owners for two main reasons: cost and convenience. You're on the wrong website, Ryan.
No, you're on the wrong website.
I was here already.
No.
I'll give you the Cliff's notes. All right. Let me go through. Wet food may be too much fat. Especially for dogs that are predisposed to pancreatitis. Wet food can increase tar buildup on dogs' teeth. More than the dry food, and if you don't have a dental care routine, it will be more noticeable. You got a dental care routine, Ryan. I don't think you're predisposed to pancreatitis either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Cans may be lined with bisphenol A. Ugh.
The heck is bisphenol A?
It's an endocrine disruptor chemical. I don't know what that is either.
That does not sound good for your dog to ingest.
Research has shown that BPA from canned dog food can be detected in the bloodstream of dogs and may have negative effects on the body. So, what I've learned from this is probably just make your own wet dog food, Ryan. You know?
Yeah, that's a lot of work, though.
I like this segment. How dare you do that into the mic? I'm gonna fire you right now.
What?
You cleared your throat. That's a punishable offense.
12 years imprisonment.
Yep. Are there any new topics on the topic sheet? Shall we pull from it?
I don't know.
I don't think I put any more on there.
If y'all have a topic, put it down below in the comment section.
The comment section for the YouTube.
The audio comment section.
Audio comment section.
Or actually, we can put a comment. We can put a poll down below with write-in choices, I think.
We can definitely ask a question. I know that.
I'm pretty sure we can just make like a little poll that will ask people
I want to
topic
ask
they wanna
people
hear.
personally.
Okay, wait. I have the ingredient list.
For your pumpkin spice?
For my pumpkin pie, my mom's pumpkin pie.
She put pumpkin spice on it. I automatically win.
Okay, it says it's eggs, canned pumpkin, evaporated milk, cloves, cinnamon, and ginger.
That's pumpkin spice.
Mm-mm.
That is.
No.
Yeah, it is.
If you notice, there's no allspice.
It doesn't need allspice.
It does.
No,
That's
it
recipe
doesn't.
for. That is the recipe for pumpkin spice. It's allspice, cloves, ginger, tar,
I
anything
guarantee
nasty,
right now,
garlic bread, literally anything they can shove in there.
I can
blend
find
up.
a different recipe for pumpkin spice that supports my claim.
You cannot find one that does not have these other ingredients.
Let's see. Entertain the people, Ryan.
No
Entertain the
nutmeg,
people.
no nutmeg, no cloves, no ginger.
You just said ginger in your thing.
Okay, fine. No nutmeg.
You said nutmeg too.
Yeah, but no
You-
nutmeg.
You didn't say cloves or allspice. You said nutmeg.
No nutmeg and no allspice.
You're making things up, Ryan.
No, that's what
I win already because you're making things up.
No, that's not how it works. You can't disprove my factual claims.
No allspice.
See, what it probably is the nutmeg and the allspice.
You eat
Because-
pumpkin pie.
Right, but I don't eat it with
So you eat.
nutmeg or allspice. Like if you have here's some homework for you. Go to your cabinet where you keep all your spices. Take a big old whiff of allspice and a big old whiff of nutmeg, and then you'll know why.
No,
don't
I
like
won't.
pumpkin spice.
You're ridiculous. Why are you eating things through your nose? Cocaine addict.
You don't eat it through your nose. You just smell it. You can smell how it tastes pretty much with spices. And,
If you
it's
ever
pretty
come
bad.
across any recipe that requires a combination of cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, allspice, and or cloves, you can instead just make it with the other ingredients.
Let's point to other ingredients.
You don't want one in, you just make more of the others.
So what you're telling me is, if I grab a thing of cinnamon and put cinnamon on my pumpkin pie, that's pumpkin spice?
Look, can I use nutmeg instead of cloves in pumpkin pie? No problem. The next substitute for cloves is cinnamon and nutmeg used together. That means you can replace one with two others. So what can you do instead of using two ingredients? Increase the other ones, and then it makes up for it. That's pumpkin spice.
That's just like saying, I don't like the ingredients of pumpkin spice. My pumpkin spice is just a spoonful of cinnamon.
It can be, because that's pumpkin spice.
And
As
then
soon as it's
boom,
put on a pumpkin
pumpkin
spice.
spice. That's just really.
You want to put pepper on your pumpkins, Ryan? It's not traditionally pumpkin spice, but you can put it on your pumpkins, it'll be pumpkin spice. And if it's part of the ingredients of an already perceived pumpkin spice recipe, then it's obviously pumpkin spice.
That's like me throwing some raw eggs on your counter and being like, "Yo, this is a cake."
You didn't cook it.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll toss some eggs in the oven and I'll cook them, and like a cake, and I'll give it to you and be like, "Man, this is a cake."
And I'll reason with you and be like, sure, it's spread out on the pan, so I guess you can say it's a cake, but whatever. And then I'd eat it because you would say it's a cake.
Be nasty.
Eating eggs is nasty.
Just some baked eggs on a plate, yeah.
Why would you put a plate in the oven?
Well, it wouldn't be in the plate in the oven. It would be in a pan in the oven and then be put on a plate. Unless you're one of those people that just eat straight out of the pan.
That's just eggs.
No, it's a cake. I just substituted the other
Yeah,
ingredients.
but Ryan, be for real, okay? Just for a second. You said it was gross to eat the eggs because you cooked them on a pan and then put them on a plate and then served them to me. And I was be like, "Oh, you're saying it's cake, but it's just eggs on a plate, right?" We're being real for a minute.
Yeah.
That's just eggs.
It's just
How's that
eggs.
gross?
Because it's eggs.
Eggs aren't gross.
Yeah, if you just pick
Especially
eggs.
eggs cooked in an oven. You know how dry those eggs would be? You'd love them.
But I don't like eggs that are not scrambled eggs. That's like, I
You
mean,
didn't
okay,
even you were like, I put eggs in an oven. Well, I'm like, that's a cake.
yeah. I just substituted the ingredients. Add more eggs to it, it becomes more of a cake. If that's what the pumpkin spice thing says.
Yeah, totally. That's absolutely what the pumpkin spice thing says, because eggs are, instead of having a pumpkin pie that you can cook with just pumpkins, and it's technically still a pumpkin pie because it's pumpkin in a pie. You can take the seasoning and like mess around with it. But with the cake, you take a core ingredient, the eggs, which sticks it all together because it's eggs, and just multiply that. You take a core ingredient instead of mixing it up to make it something different. You just do that. Perfect.
Okay, so it's only that way if it's a topping.
It's a seasoning.
It's a seasoning. So you're telling me if I make bread pudding,
I hate bread pudding.
you haven't had my mom's bread pudding.
I will hate her bread pudding.
But anyways, if I take bread pudding and I go to make the whiskey sauce, but I'm just like, you know what, whatever, and I just like pour a bucket of whiskey on there, that makes whiskey sauce.
I've never had bread pudding or made it, so I have no idea what comparison you're trying to make. What is whiskey sauce?
Whiskey sauce is like a caramel sugar whiskey.
So
and
you
a
didn't
couple other
cook down.
ingredients.
You didn't. You're making a argument that if you don't cook down whiskey, instead you just put like tons and tons of whiskey on the thing, it's the same thing.
Yeah, because you're just substituting the other ingredients for whiskey.
You're not
'cause you can do that
substituting the other things for whiskey because you're using a bucket full.
Right, but you
You're
just
not.
said I could do that with
You
pumpkin
have to use
spice.
the same volume.
Fine, whatever. Just use the same volume of the other ingredients and just use whiskey. Then it's whiskey sauce. Even though whiskey
Sure.
sauce is whiskey sauce is a frosting.
You're gonna have some weird soggy bread pudding, and it'll be to somebody else's taste, I guess. But
This
it
does not
is
count
whiskey sauce at that point because you're putting it on top, so it's a sauce.
That doesn't make sense. How do you know it's not a spice?
Because it's not powder. It's not a spice.
If I was making,
Is whiskey spicy,
is
or does it just
spicy?
burn on the way down?
It's not spicy, but it.
Then
does
it's
burn on
not
the
a
way down.
spice, Ryan. If it's not spicy, it's not spice.
Okay, I see how this is going.
Yeah, you do, because I'm so right.
You're not. I'm sorry, man. No, I just no.
We need to call this Ryan's Kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that picky with food, but
You are.
sometimes I am picky with food.
You are picky with food.
I'm not. I mean,
You can't have wet food.
sometimes.
You have to pour the broth out of soup in order to eat it, which is the best part of a soup, the broth. That's where all the seasonings went, and you just cooked the food inside the broth, so it only took some of that. That's like, you know what that's like, Ryan?
What's it like?
That's like cooking ground beef and then washing it.
Yeah.
You don't see a problem with that. You don't see a problem with like cooking ground beef and it's got all that nice grease, the flavor of the meat, right? And then you put it into a strainer and you wash it. You just wash it all off because you don't want grease on your meat.
No. Okay. This is a little different though.
It's not.
It is.
It's not. I'm sure it still retains some of the flavor of the grease. It's just not the grease. You put that in a taco.
Yeah, but the other one is like
it's still taco, right? Right, Ryan? Just
like
wash
adding
the
water.
seasoning off.
you don't wash the seasoning off. You just drain the liquid. There's two different types of cooking styles.
Two different types of cooking sauce. One is
Well, I mean, if you're making soup, it's liquid.
It's a broth.
Yeah, so you make a broth, and then you put your chunks of meat in it. But I'd rather just eat the chunks of meat than eat the broth.
You don't cook the chunks of meat before you put them in?
I don't know. I don't make soup.
Yeah, because you're a loser.
Because it sucks. It's soup.
Ryan, would you take a nicely seasoned steak and take off the crust?
No.
That's the broth. That's the broth of the soup.
It's not the...
That's the broth of the soup.
One's a solid and one's a liquid. How they
That
both
doesn't
broth?
change anything. The crust would be where all the seasoning comes from, the majority at least. And the broth is like the crust of the soup. It's where all the seasoning is. You cook a broth with onions in it, and it becomes onion broth, right?
Okay.
Where
But
does
if you
the
were to
flavor
cook-
of the onions go, Ryan?
It mixes into the
Into
water.
the broth. It goes into the water, the broth, which means it is the crust of the steak because it has the seasoning.
Okay. I mean, I kind of see where you're coming from, but at the same time, one is like super wet and one of them's not wet.
Do you know why it's wet, Ryan?
It's like saying
You know,
putting
in fact,
gravy.
in fact, Ryan, is water wet? Let's bring back this argument. Is water wet?
Is water
I'm
wet?
certain you've said no.
Is water wet? Okay, what do you mean by wet? What is the definition of wet?
Is water wet? Or does it just make things wet?
I feel like
You're trying to weasel out of this, but you know what your answer is. Your answer is no. Water isn't wet because it can't wet itself.
maybe.
Water just makes things wet. That's your argument.
Yeah. Okay. I'll stand by that.
So broth isn't wet. And instead, the things you're ingesting after draining the broth
No.
they are
You're
wet.
You're getting this wrong.
I'm getting this right. That is
Because
the rules
the
of your
water-
argument.
The water is making the other substance of the stuff that's in the liquid. That's making it wet.
Ryan, do you put your things in like a dehydrator before you eat them? Do you drain the water and put them in a dehydrator? Because if you
Sometimes.
don't, they're still wet.
I mean, I have done that before.
They're quite wet, in fact. They're saturated.
Okay.
I'm
I
so
guess.
right
I mean,
about this.
I don't want to admit defeat, but you kind of make sense today. I'll give you that.
I don't know where this pumpkin spice. Let's start from pumpkin spice. If you take 2 ingredients out of pumpkin spice, it's still pumpkin spice.
Which is strange. Because there's only like 3 ingredients in it, or 3 or 4 ingredients in pumpkin spice.
Yeah, but like, I don't know how much nutmeg and allspice contributes, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if it's just like a pinch of those, then I guess. But like, if you took the flour out of like a pancake,
But that's
it's
a main
not going to be a
ingredient,
pancake.
Ryan. It's a main ingredient.
Well, what is the main ingredient of pumpkin spice then?
Pumpkin.
No, like pumpkin spice. Just the pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice? Cinnamon,
Without
probably.
the pumpkin. So you can take all the other ingredients out except cinnamon.
Yeah.
But then that means you could take the eggs out of your pancakes.
You can, technically, but that's a main ingredient. You can take the syrup off of your pancakes and it'd still be a pancake. You can not put butter on it and still be a pancake. That's the comparison.
I guess it just seems like if you were to take ingredients out, that it's like no longer the same thing.
It's like uh it's like remaking a recipe to for it to be edible to people with allergies. It's still the same
So
thing,
like
but it's got different
taking the
ingredients.
like taking the wheat out of bread to make gluten free.
Taking the wheat out of bread and replacing it with rice flour. Not like the exact same thing. You know, you would probably use that. You could use something else, I guess, but rice flour is a pretty good all around thing.
My question is, where do they get all these rice flour? Like, how do you make rice flour and like oat milk and like all this weird stuff?
I don't know about oat milk, but we have a grinder here where we just put rice into it and it makes rice flour. Pretty awesome, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's like a coffee grinder type thing. It's a little bigger.
What does a coffee grinder look like?
Typically there's like little tiny blenders, and then they chop up the beans or whatever, so you can have the.
It's probably a little
grounds.
similar. It makes it very fine, though.
Oh well, the blender for the beans doesn't make it very fine, because the finer you make it, the harder it is to strain out. So
Yeah.
nobody wants to just get a mouthful of powder.
You drink
Trying to
coffee,
drink coffee
again, or are you not drinking coffee again?
I had a cup the other day with my girlfriend, but
Did you
no, I
enjoy
don't.
it?
It was okay.
Wow.
I mean, if I have it too much of it, I'll have like sweating issues, and
You're going to relapse.
no, I'm not gonna relapse.
If you have too much of it, you will. Relapse
No.
back into your shaky.
If I have too much of it, I'll just have a heart
Coffee
attack and
thing.
you have to take me to the hospital.
You just drink decaf again.
I'm like, Griffin, I know you're like 6 to 10 hours away, but
Bro,
I need
6
to go to the
to
hospital.
10. So much more than 6 to 10. It's like 14.
I was planning on you speeding.
What?
I was planning on you speeding like quite a bit.
Oh, I'd get caught.
Well, you just tell them that you ought to take your friend to the hospital.
I'd be like, oh, I'll escort you. Where are you going? I'll be like, Texas.
Going to Texas.
Yeah. And they would not go for that. Just call your mom.
Why?
Because you could take you to the hospital.
But you're perfectly able to.
No, I lost a leg in the war.
And which war was this?
The War of 1812.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You have a school reenactment.
It was the real thing.
Just trying to be as accurate as possible at your school, and then stuff happened. You
No,
lost a leg.
it was the real thing. It was the real
Yeah,
war.
totally.
Speaking of battles, Ryan, I got pauldrons.
What?
You know what a pauldron is?
No idea.
It's the armor you put on your shoulders.
Oh, okay.
I got some. They're made of steel.
I thought you were about to tell me something about like some terminal illness you developed.
Oh, yeah. Ryan, I got Ebola. Remember that? That
Yeah.
sucked.
Like Ebola, and there's like 3 cases, and then it like disappeared.
I hate Ebola.
In America, at least. I think there's a lot more overseas.
There was more overseas. There was a fair amount, enough for me to be scared here. I was like, oh no.
I'm gonna get Ebola.
Yeah.
I guess there's a couple more than 3. Like it started out with like 3 cases, I think, though.
Yeah, I'm
But
pretty
then
sure it
there's,
did.
Those people that were on an airplane, and then like everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then like a couple other people, and then it like disappeared.
Yeah. Ebola, more like. Anyway, the pauldrons. The pauldrons
I
are pretty
always
cool,
got- You have to send a picture. Post a picture on Patreon. Y'all can go check it out.
I will try to remember.
I will make you remember. I'll come to your house. I'll beat on your door until you do it.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture. I'll show you a picture. You'll react to it on the Patreon episode.
Like, wow, look at this picture.
They're just sat down, so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of sat down, it's time for us to sit down.
You're not sitting?
No, I can't. Yeah, I totally said it. I was practicing my transitions. Segways.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Segways.
Yeah. It's pretty good, huh? Pretty good segue.
It was.
If
I
we were
listened.
standing up.
I listened to a podcast one time. I still listen to it to this day. But in the beginning, all their segues was like, "Oh, check this out." The other host would be like, "Whoa, what's that? Oh, it's a Segway," and then they'd write it, but they wouldn't really write it. They just pretend to another topic. It was awesome.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Just like you and your weird food things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you just... Ryan, if I made you flavored water, would you drink it or would it be too wet?
Flavored water like Kool-Aid?
No, flavored, not the brand Kool-Aid.
It's like some flavored water.
Kool-Aid, the brand sucks.
You okay? You having a stroke? Do I need to come over there?
Constantly. I'm constantly having a stroke. It's too much stuttering. My brain just resets on a word. It's so fun.
Nice. You
Yeah.
should get that checked out.
No, I don't want to. They'll be like,
Speaking.
"You've got..." What?
What? No, never mind. Go.
I forgot.
Nice. I'm sorry, bro. It's my fault.
It wasn't important. Do your thing.
Yeah, that's what
Do
they
your
all
thing,
say.
Ryan.
Speaking of flavored water, it's time for dessert. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Pumpkin
good.
pie without nutmeg or cloves.
Yeah. If you want dessert, go to patreon.com.
Yep.
Support us there.
It's about time for us to head over there. But how will we transport? Look, Ryan. It's a Segway.
It's a Segway. How are we
Yeah.
both gonna fit on a Segway?
I'll hop into one leg place and you hop into the other. Ready?
No. Hang on. Here's what we're gonna do. You get on my back like Yoda, and I'm just gonna ride the Segway.
Okay. We'll do that.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Go. Get on. Go. So heavy.
Here we go. I can't make that. Ryan, make a car sputtering noise.